Wisdom for modern living. Inspirational quotes and stories to brighten your day. In our fast-paced, always connected world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, scattered, and lost. We're busier than ever but often wonder if we're actually living well. We have more information at our fingertips than any generation in history. Yet we're starving for real wisdom. Today, we're bridging ancient wisdom with modern life. These are timeless truths that have guided humanity for centuries, now applied to the unique challenges we face today. Let's discover how age-old wisdom can transform your modern life. Segment 1: The Buddhist Monk and the Smartphone. Buddha taught, "The mind is everything. What you think you become." There's a story about a Buddhist monk who visited Silicon Valley to speak at a tech conference. After his talk, a young entrepreneur approached him, stressed and exhausted. "Master, I'm overwhelmed," the entrepreneur confessed. "I check my phone 200 times a day. I respond to messages at midnight. I can't stop thinking about work. My mind never rests. How do you find peace in the modern world?" The monk smiled and asked to see the young man's smartphone. He held it up and said, "This device is not your problem. This device is neutral, it has no power over you that you don't give it." He continued, "In my monastery, we have a bell. When it rings, we stop whatever we're doing and take 3 mindful breaths. Your phone has notifications, they are like bells. But instead of using them to return to mindfulness, you let them pull you away from presence." The monk suggested a simple practice: every time you pick up your phone, take 1 conscious breath first. Just 1. Before you check anything, breathe and ask yourself, "Am I choosing this? Or is it choosing me?" The entrepreneur started this practice. Within weeks, his phone usage dropped by 40%. More importantly, he felt in control again. This ancient wisdom, mindfulness and intentional living, is more relevant now than ever. As Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." In our modern context, the unintentional life leaves us constantly reacting, never truly living. Segment 2: Ikigai, the Japanese secret to purpose. A Japanese proverb teaches, "Only staying active will make you want to live 100 years. In Okinawa, Japan, there's a concentration of centenarians, people living past 100, that's far higher than anywhere else in the world. Researchers studied these communities to understand their secret. They discovered a concept called Ikigai, pronounced Ikigai, which roughly translates to reason for being or purpose in life. The Okinawans don't have a word for retirement. Instead, they have Ikigai, the reason they get up in the morning. It's found at the intersection of 4 questions. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? What can you be paid for? One 102-year-old woman's Ikigai was teaching karate to children. A 100-year-old man's Ikigai was tending his garden and sharing vegetables with neighbors. These weren't just hobbies, they were purposes that gave their lives meaning. In our modern world, we often separate work from passion, duty from joy, career from calling. We think retirement means stopping, when perhaps it should mean shifting to our truest purpose. A 45-year-old executive in New York discovered this ancient wisdom and realized he'd been climbing a ladder leaned against the wrong wall. He loved technology, was good at teaching. The world needed more tech education in underserved communities. And he could create a sustainable nonprofit. He found his Ikigai, and though he made less money, he said, "I finally feel like I'm living instead of just existing." As Mark Twain wrote, "The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." Ikigai helps you discover your why. Segment 3: Stoicism for modern stress. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, has become remarkably popular among modern entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders. Why? Because it offers practical wisdom for handling stress, uncertainty, and adversity. The Stoics taught the dichotomy of control, distinguishing between what you can control and what you can't. A modern story illustrates this perfectly. Sarah was a marketing director, constantly stressed about her company's stock price, competitors' actions, and client decisions, all things outside her control. She worked 70-hour weeks trying to control the uncontrollable. Then she discovered Stoic philosophy and made a simple list. Things I can control: my effort and preparation, my attitude and response, my learning and growth, my integrity and values. Things I cannot control: other people's decisions, market conditions, what competitors do, other people's opinions of me. She started focusing exclusively on the first list and accepting the second. Her stress decreased dramatically while her effectiveness increased. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his personal journal, now called Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Another Stoic practice is negative visualization. Regularly imagining worst-case scenarios, not to be pessimistic, but to prepare mentally and appreciate what you have. A teacher named James started each day by imagining losing his health, his job, or his loved ones. This didn't make him depressed, it made him grateful. He stopped taking things for granted and became more present with his family. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." By deliberately imagining difficulties, we paradoxically reduce anxiety. Because we've mentally prepared and realized we could handle it. Call to action. If this wisdom is resonating with you and helping you navigate modern life with more clarity, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We regularly share timeless wisdom for contemporary challenges. Your subscription helps us reach more people seeking meaningful content. Let's continue exploring wisdom that transforms. Segment 4: The Ubuntu Philosophy. In a disconnected age, an African proverb teaches, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Ubuntu is a South African philosophy that roughly translates to, I am because we are. It's the understanding that our humanity is deeply interconnected, that your well-being is inseparable from my well-being. There's a beautiful story about an anthropologist who proposed a game to children in an African tribe. He placed a basket of fruit near a tree and told the kids that whoever reached it first would win all the fruit. When he gave the signal to run, the children all joined hands and ran together. When they reached the fruit, they sat down and shared it equally. Surprised, the anthropologist asked why they didn't compete. One child responded, Ubuntu, how can one of us be happy if all the others are sad? In our modern world of social media, we often see connection without real community. We have hundreds of friends online but feel lonely. We compete more than we collaborate. We celebrate individual achievement while communities crumble. A tech startup in San Francisco tried an experiment inspired by Ubuntu. Instead of individual performance bonuses, they created team bonuses. Instead of Employee of the Month, they celebrated Collaboration of the Month. Initially, some high performers resisted, they wanted individual recognition. But over time, something remarkable happened. People started helping each other more. Knowledge sharing increased. Employee satisfaction soared. And interestingly, overall company performance improved. Because everyone was invested in everyone else's success. As Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Ubuntu reminds us that in an age of individualism, our greatest strength comes from recognizing our interdependence. Segment 5: Wabi Sabi, Finding Beauty in Imperfection. A Japanese aesthetic philosophy teaches, nothing is perfect. Nothing is permanent, nothing is complete. Wabi-sabi is the Japanese worldview, centered on accepting imperfection and impermanence. In a world of Instagram filters, Photoshop, and curated perfection, this ancient wisdom offers profound liberation. Traditional Japanese potters practice something called kintsugi when a bowl breaks. Instead of hiding the cracks or throwing it away, they repair it with gold lacquer, making the cracks the most beautiful part of the object. The brokenness becomes the art. A modern woman named Emma struggled with perfectionism her entire life. Her house had to be spotless. Her body had to be perfect. Her work had to be flawless. But she was miserable, constantly anxious, never satisfied. Then she discovered wabi-sabi. She started looking for beauty in imperfection. The asymmetry of a homemade cake, the worn patina of old furniture, the laugh lines on her face that showed a life well lived. She started a pottery hobby and deliberately made imperfect pieces. Uneven bowls, asymmetric vases. Each one was unique and beautiful, precisely because of its imperfections. Emma's life transformed. She became more creative because she wasn't afraid to make mistakes. She became more joyful because she wasn't constantly chasing an impossible standard. She became more present because she could appreciate things as they were, not as they should be. As Leonard Cohen sang, "There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." In our modern pursuit of perfection, perfect careers, perfect bodies, perfect lives, wabi-sabi teaches us that beauty exists in the imperfect, the impermanent, and the incomplete. Your scars, your struggles, your imperfections, these aren't flaws to hide. They're proof that you're real, you're human, you're alive. Segment 6, Lao Tzu's Wisdom on Doing Less. Lao Tzu taught, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. In the Tao Te Ching, written over 2,500 years ago, Lao Tzu describes a concept called Wu Wei, effortless action, or the art of doing by not forcing. This seems contradictory to our modern, hustle culture, where we're told to work harder, do more, sleep less, and grind constantly. But ancient wisdom suggests a different path. A Silicon Valley executive named David was the poster child for hustle culture. He worked 80-hour weeks, slept 4 hours a night, and wore his exhaustion as a badge of honor. Then he burned out completely, physically, mentally, emotionally. During his recovery, a friend introduced him to Taoist philosophy. One passage struck him: the master does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone. David realized he'd been forcing everything, forcing solutions, forcing productivity, forcing results. He started practicing Wu Wei, working with natural rhythms instead of against them. He started sleeping 8 hours. He took walks without his phone. He stopped scheduling back-to-back meetings. He created space for thinking, not just doing. Counterintuitively, his productivity soared. His decisions improved. His creativity returned. His team performed better because he wasn't micromanaging. As Lao Tzu wrote, a good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. David stopped being so attached to specific outcomes and rigid plans. He became more flexible, adaptive, responsive. Another Taoist teaching: the usefulness of a cup is in its emptiness. In our modern lives, we fill every moment with activity, every space with stuff, every silence with noise. But wisdom teaches that the empty spaces, the pauses, the rest, the silence are where value resides. As Blaise Pascal said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Closing and call to action number 2. Today, we've journeyed through timeless wisdom applied to modern challenges. Mindfulness in the digital age. Finding your ikigai, Stoic practices for managing stress, Ubuntu's reminder of our interconnection. Wabi-sabi's celebration of imperfection, and Wu Wei's teaching on effortless action. These aren't just ancient philosophies. They're practical tools for living better today. In a world that's constantly changing, these truths remain constant. If you found value in this wisdom, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Share this with someone who's feeling overwhelmed by modern life. Comment below and tell us which teaching resonated most with you. Or share your own favorite wisdom tradition. As Rumi wrote, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself." The wisdom is here. The application is yours. Start today. Thank you for watching, and may you find your balance between ancient wisdom and modern living.